This week, I'm going to lead you through a slow flow Vinyasa practice. This is a full body practice with a peak pose and the half moon balancing pose. Let's get started. For this week's practice, a couple of yoga blocks or something similar might be handy props. If you don't have blocks, you could use boxes or stacks of books or even chairs as we need them for support under hands as we attempt our half moon balancing poses towards the end of the practice. That being said, we are going to start from lying down, so no balancing in the beginning. Just find your easy resting pose lying down. And this can be any pose where you feel you could rest your back, your shoulders. You could have your knees bent, maybe leaning the knees inwards against each other. Or you might as well choose to extend your legs. So any easy pose where you feel you could spend a minute or two focusing on breathing before we start to move more. You could bring one hand onto your belly and the other hand somewhere at the bottom of the rib cage where you can feel your ribs moving as you breathe in and out. And then take a few breaths, a few just slightly slower breaths in and out. Focus on observing where you can feel the movements of your in-breaths, your out-breaths. And try to send a few breaths towards the ribs. Just so you can feel you can have that freedom in the ribs as you breathe in. Allowing the rib cage to just gently expand. Maybe you can feel that movement at the front, maybe more on the sides of the ribs. You might also feel it at the back of the ribs, maybe breathing towards the mat. And then send a few breaths down towards the belly area, just feeling you have that space, you have that freedom in the belly area as well. And as we go through the practice, you can play with your breath. Maybe in some poses it's nice, it's easier to breathe down to the belly. Maybe in some poses more out to the ribs, especially if we're trying to keep our abdominals engaged. Maybe in many poses, movements, it's an interplay between using all various areas for your breaths. So there's no right or wrong as we go through the practice, but let your breath support you. And keep breathing throughout the practice. Now we're going to stay lying down on the back. But with the next few breaths, if you have your knees bent, extend your legs, release your hands, your arms, and then start to circle your wrist joints, ankle joints. You might lift your hands off the mat in the air. And do a few circles one way and then change the direction. Go a few circles the other way. Waking up the hands, the feet, the wrists, the ankles. And then stretch, lengthen your arms along the mat, along the floor, and reach your hands and feet far away from each other. And then open arms out to the sides like a cactus shape. And bend your knees, stepping feet on the mat. And now start to swing your knees, swing your legs from side to side. The windshield wipers movement. And allow some twisting through your spine. It might be that your shoulders come off the mat slightly. You can let your pelvis rock from side to side. And just a couple more swings, bringing some movement to hips and the spine. And then bring your legs back to center. And now lower your arms down next to the side. Your palms could be facing up towards the ceiling, or they could be facing down towards the mat. Feet about hip width apart. Inhale down on the mat. And then as you exhale, press the feet down and elevate your pelvis, your back off the mat into a bridge pose. Feel both feet still firmly on the mat. With the next exhalation, slowly release your back and your pelvis down. We'll repeat this 3 more times. Inhale on the mat. And as you exhale, press the feet down, elevate your pelvis, your back off the mat. Now inhale at the top of your bridge. And then exhale, slowly release your back, your pelvis down. 2 more times and focus on your inner thighs. Inhale on the mat and exhale, elevate the pelvis, the back off the mat. And feel inner thighs are engaged. So knees don't drop out to the sides. Exhale again, release the back, the pelvis down. 1 more round with your own breath. As you exhale, press the feet down and elevate your back, your pelvis off the mat. Inhale at the top of the bridge, feeling the feet, even shoulders pressing down. And exhale again, release your back and your pelvis down. And hug your knees in towards the chest. And you could even bring your head towards the knees, curling into a little ball. And then release your head, your feet down. Roll onto one side. It could be the left or it could be the right side. And bring yourself up onto all fours, onto hands and knees. And we're going to maybe step the hands just a bit wider than the shoulders. Same with the knees. You can tuck your toes under if you like. And then a few times, circle the weight from hands to knees, from knees to hands. Just testing the weight on the hands. See how the movement feels in your shoulders, in your hips. And then change the direction. You can allow your back to move. You can allow your neck, your head to move. Mostly focus on how your hands, your fingers, they spread on the mat, starting to activate the fingers as well. And then bring your weight to center. Keep your palms active, tuck the toes under, and now lift your pelvis up in the air into our first downward facing dog. And here you can continue moving. If you want, you might still continue that circling movement, but now from hands to feet, feet to hands. But you might also just walk from one foot to the other a couple times. You might shake your head. Check that your head can just drop down so you release the back of the neck. Take another breath or two in and out in your downward dog. And then from that downward dog, as you inhale, send your right leg up in the air behind you. And as you exhale, step right foot forward. Close to hands, bring left knee down. We find our low lunge. You can release left foot toes if you want. And now as you inhale, lift your back, your arms up, opening the chest. Exhale, bring arms sideways down. Same again. Inhale, reaching your back, your arms forward and up. Exhaling sideways down. 2 more times. Inhaling forward and up. Neck moving as well. Exhaling sideways down. One more round. Inhaling forward and up. And then exhale, bring your hands all the way back down on the mat. Tuck your left foot toes under. And as you inhale, swing that right leg back up into the air. And then exhale, bring both feet down. We're back in downward dog. You can adjust your hands, you can adjust your feet. And we'll do same to the other side. So now as you inhale, send your left leg up into the air. And exhale, step left foot forward, close to hands. Lower the right knee down. You can release the right foot toes as well. And with your in-breath, reaching forward and up, opening through the chest. Maybe there's a back bend. Exhaling, arms come sideways down. Inhaling forward and up. Chest lifting up. Exhaling, arms come sideways down. 2 more times. You decide how much you find a back bend as you lift your back, your arms up. 1 more time. Follow your own breath. Then again, as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down. Tuck your right foot toes under. And with an in-breath, reach the left leg up. Kick the foot away from your hands. And exhale, bring both feet down. We're back in downward dog. And from this downward dog, start to walk your hands and feet together. So you arrive into a full forward bend. You can shift the weight on the heels. As you exhale, round your back down and forward. You can hold your elbows if you want. You can also lean elbows onto your thighs if you want to stay a bit higher up. But just test the weight on your feet. You can rock a bit from one foot to the other. Or you can rock from heels to toes, toes to heels. Take another breath in and out. In your forward bend, knees can be as bent as you want them to be. And then release your hands, your arms down if you're holding your elbows. And as you inhale, roll the back up. Bring yourself all the way up into mountain pose, Tadasana pose. You can roll your shoulders. And then we're going to take a couple of steps back. So you find your way at the back of your mat in mountain pose. Breathe here a couple of times. Feet roughly hip-width apart. We're going to test our balance on the toes before we go into our first flow. Now, as you inhale, you can bring arms in front of you. Next exhalation, lift your heels off the mat. So you come up onto the balls of the feet, your toes. Exhale, lower the heels down. And you can lower your hands and arms down as well. Same again. Inhale, bring arms in front of you. Lift your heels off the mat. And exhale, lower down. See if you prefer lifting up with the in-breath or exhalation. Again, inhale, just arms in front of you. Exhale, lift the heels off the mat. Inhale there. And exhale, lower down. One more time, we'll lift everything up with one in-breath. So now as you inhale, lift your arms and heels off the mat. And exhaling down. Then we go into our first flow. Inhale, reach arms overhead. And exhale, bend all the way down, full forward bend. Hands come down, you can bend the knees. Inhale, walk forward into a plank. And as you exhale, lower down, either onto the mat or hover in low plank. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale into downward dog, pelvis lifting up.
Then we're going to step into a high lunge. We're going to go to the left side first. As you inhale, send your left leg up into the air. Exhale, step left foot forward. Again, close the hands, but this time keep your right knee off the mat. We're going to inhale, lift the back, lift the arms up, finding balance, and shift the weight to the center. Pause here. Inhale, lift your chest bone just a bit higher up. And then as you exhale, round your back, swing arms next to your sides. Inhale, we're going to lift back up again, pressing down through that left foot, opening the chest. Exhale, rounding the back again, arms swing next to your sides. Inhale, roll the back up, reach your chest, your arms up. One more time, exhaling round the back. And then inhale, lift yourself up. This time you can extend your front leg slightly. And then we're going to turn pelvis and chest out to the long side of the mat and find warrior two. You might need to adjust your feet, bending the left knee again. Arms gently lengthening away from each other. We're going to go into reverse warrior. So now as you inhale, lengthen your left arm up, bring right arm behind the back. Exhale into a side bend, keeping the left knee bent, keeping the right leg extended, and you can look over your right shoulder towards the right foot. You might also look up towards the ceiling. See how your neck, your shoulders feel. And then with your next in-breath, lift yourself back to center. Now you can slightly extend your left leg, and we're going to exhale, tilt into a triangle pose. And you decide if you want to hover your left hand on the inside of that left leg, or if you want to gently lean onto that left shin with your left hand. Actively reach your right arm up as if you're trying to lift yourself away from the mat. And again, you might look up, you might look down to the mat. Take one more breath in and out, long line from head to your tail. And then as you exhale, look down, bend the front knee, bring both hands to the mat. And as you inhale, swing your left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring both feet down, and we'll go into a slow flow, slow Vinyasa flow. As you inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, either onto the mat or hover off the mat. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale into downward dog. Head can drop down. We'll do same to the other side. As you inhale, send your right leg up into the air. And then as you exhale, step right foot close to hands, starting from that high lunge. We're going to inhale, lift the back, lift the arms up. And here, you might still adjust where your feet are so you feel stable, and bring the weight to center. The left knee could be slightly bent. Inhale, open the chest. And then as you exhale, round your back, gently swing arms next to the sides. Inhale, lifting up. Again, right foot, also right heel, pressing down. And exhale, round the back. Follow your own breath. If I go too fast, just slow down. Find your own pace. Inhalation, lifting up. One more time. Exhaling, round the back. See if you can round your neck as well. And inhaling, lifting up. And this time you can extend that front leg a bit more. And then turn pelvis and chest to the other long side of the mat. Looking for that warrior two. Again, you can adjust your feet. Rotate the right hip open. And then we're going to go into reverse warrior. As you inhale, send your right arm up, left arm behind the back. Exhale, bend towards the left leg, keeping the left leg extended. And again, you might peek towards that left foot over the left shoulder. Keep tops of the shoulders soft. Keep breathing. Still keep the left hip rotated open. And then as you inhale, lift your back up. Open the arms. You can extend that right leg slightly. And we're going to exhale, tilt towards or over the right leg. And again, you decide if you hover the right hand on the inside of the right leg or gently lean onto the right leg. Open the chest, and as you inhale, reach the left arm up. As if there's someone gently pulling that left arm up towards the ceiling, keeping a long line from head to the tail. You might look down towards that right foot. Take another breath in and out. And then exhale. Look down, bring both hands to the mat. And as you inhale, swing your right leg up into the air. And exhale, bring both feet down. We'll go through that slow Vinyasa flow. As you inhale, come forward to plank. Reach head away from the heels. Exhaling slowly down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale into downward dog. You can shake your head. And then we're going to do 2 back bends. So we're going to go through the plank. First, bring yourself forward to plank. And as you exhale, lower down, all the way down onto the belly. We're going to extend the left arm overhead. Go into the twisted cobras. Right hand stays close to the right shoulder. We keep legs on the mat. We're going to inhale, peel the chest off the mat, and at the same time twist out to the right. And then exhale, release back down. Change arms the other way round. And then as you inhale, again, peel the chest off the mat, but this time twist out to the left. Exhale, lower down. And change the arms. Again, we go to the right. As you inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Twisting to the right. You can look towards the right. And exhaling down. Change the arms one more time. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Keeping legs down on the mat. And exhale, release down. Step both hands under the shoulders. Inhale onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, we go back into downward dog. And here you can shake the head a bit. Good. Next, we're going to go into warrior 3 and the gate pose. And this is where we could use the block. We're going to go on to the left side first. So as you inhale, send your left leg up into the air. As you exhale, step left foot forward under your chest. And then you could bring a block under your hands if you like. Slowly start to find your balance. Start to hover the right leg off the mat behind you. Reach your back, your right leg into one long line. And you could keep your hands on the block, or you might start to hover your arms next to the sides or even overhead. We're going to breathe here in and out. And then we try to lift the hands off the block. And as you inhale, start to lift your back up. Bring right knee towards your chest, towards your belly. Reach arms overhead. And either stay here or extend your right leg in front of you, kicking your right heel away from the hip. And then exhale, bend the right knee, step your right foot far back behind you, bring hands on the mat. And as you inhale now, swing your left leg up into the air, into a three-legged dog. We're going to rotate both hips open, bend the left knee, the left foot comes closer to the buttocks, reaching the left knee away from the left armpit. You might look to the left side of the mat. One more breath here, in and out. And then as you exhale, close your hips and now bring your left knee on the mat. We're going to go into the gate pose, so you can step your left hand a bit further forward on the mat. And then as you inhale, turn your left foot behind you. Turn chest and pelvis out to the long side of the mat and reach your right arm up. Now you can stay here, or as you inhale, start to hover your right leg off the mat. You can stay here, or last option, bend your right knee, reach right hand to the right foot or ankle, and then you can just gently pull back with that right leg to open the chest more. Your left arm and shoulder actively pressing the floor away. You might look down to the mat. You might look out to the side or even up towards the ceiling. Notice where your breaths are flowing to. Take another breath here, in and out. And then as you exhale, release your right foot down. Turn your chest, your pelvis to the mat. And we're going to step into a downward facing dog. So step your both feet back. Head can drop down. And we'll add a slow flow here. As you inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale into downward dog. Head can drop down. Take a couple of breaths here, in and out. And then we're going to prepare for warrior 3 and the three-legged dog and gate on the other side. So now as you inhale, send your right leg up into the air. And as you exhale, step right foot forward. You can bring the block under your hands if you like. And then slowly start to lift your left leg up behind you. So shifting the weight onto your right foot. If you want, you can take hands off the block. Maybe elevate your arms to hover next to your sides or overhead. Standing leg knee can be bent or straight. Take one more breath in and out. And if you have hands on the block, try to lift your hands off the block. And then inhale, lift your back up. Bend your left knee towards the chest, towards the belly. Arms reaching overhead. And either stay here or extend your left leg in front of you. And kicking the heel away from the hip. And exhale, bend the left knee. Slowly step your left foot far back. Bring hands on the mat. And then as you inhale, swing your right leg up into the air. That three-legged dog. So now you can rotate both hips open and then bend your right knee. So your right foot comes closer to the buttocks. You could peek under the right armpits and again here, imagine you're reaching that right knee away from the right armpit. Take another breath here, in. And then as you exhale, close the hips. Bring your right knee on the mat. Preparing for the gate pose. You can slide your right hand further forward. And then step your right foot behind you. Turn your pelvis, your chest to the other long side of the mat. As you inhale, see if you can hover the left leg in the air. Long line from head to the left foot. Or if you want, you can bend the left knee, reach the left hand to the foot or ankle. Open a bit more along the front line so you can slightly kick back with your left foot. Not too strong. Be mindful with your shoulders, with your back. The right arm pressing the floor away. You can look down, out to the side, or even up towards the ceiling. Breathing. And then as you exhale, release your left foot back down. Bring both hands to the mat, turning chest, turning pelvis down, and step into downward dog. Now you can either stay in downward dog or add a slow flow here if you want. You could inhale forward to plank, exhale slowly down, inhaling cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale back into downward dog. And then from this downward dog, like we did in the beginning, walk your hands and feet together. Maybe they meet somewhere in the middle of the mat. Shift the weight onto your feet. Now bring hands onto your shins and inhale to flat back, opening the chest away from the mat. Exhale, fold forward. Head can gently drop down. Then with your next in-breath, start to roll the back up. You could lengthen arms up overhead. Exhale, release your hands and arms down. We are back in mountain pose. You could roll the shoulders. And then we're going to build our peak pose, that half moon balancing pose. And for this, we're going to turn towards the long side of the mat. And now if you have your blocks there, you could bring one block to each end of the mat, because we're going to turn from one end to the other end and back. So if you have one on each end, then you don't need to move your blocks. And step your feet wide apart. We're going to go to the left side first. We're going to open the left hip, and we're going to find kind of a loose warrior two, not a full warrior two, but something like a warrior two. We're going to inhale, open the arms out to the sides, and first find your double spiral. So now as you inhale, rotate your shoulders, your palms up towards the ceiling. Then leave your shoulders where they are, and exhale, just turn your palms down so you have this double spiral going through the arms. With your next in-breath, start to reach over that left leg, and we're going to reach for the block. We're going to exhale, slowly bring left hand onto the block and shift the weight onto the left foot. We start to hover the right leg in the air, just like you did in that gate pose. Reaching head and the right foot away from each other. And imagine you're also reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling like you did in that triangle pose. Now, if you feel secure on that left foot, try to hover your left hand off the mat. So stepping your hand off the block and breathe. Now, the challenge here is to breathe. One more breath, in and out. And then slowly, with control, exhale, step your right foot back down. Lift yourself all the way up. Turn both feet toes towards the long side of the mat. And as you exhale, fold forward into a wide-legged forward bend. And in this forward bend, you could swing your upper body a bit from side to side. Bend one knee, then the other. It's just a bit of movement from side to side. Release your neck. And then bring yourself to center. And as you inhale, roll yourself up. You could reach arms up if you want. And then exhale, release the arms down. We're going to try balance on the other side. So if you need to move your blocks, bring your block close to the right foot. For the second side, we're going to rotate the right hip open. Maybe we need to close the left hip. Again, just find your loose warrior two, nothing too intense. And from there, open the arms out to the sides. And let's try the double spiral again. As you inhale, rotate the arms. So you're rotating open from the shoulders, palms facing up. And then leave your shoulders where they are. Exhale, just turn palms down. We're going to go to the right. As you inhale, start to reach forward over that right leg, reaching for the block. Exhale, we're going to slowly tilt down and start to lift the left leg up in the air. So you could have your right hand on the block. Right leg could be bent or extended. And again, reach head and the left foot away from each other and reach left arm up towards the ceiling. If you want, you can start hovering your right hand off the block. And then breathing. Maybe breathing more out to the ribs so you can keep your abdominals engaged. And then slowly, with control again, exhale, step your left foot down. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up. You can reach arms up as well. And exhale, dive down once more into that wide-legged forward bend. You shake your head, swing your neck, your back from side to side. And then we're going to do one more slow flow. Now from that forward bend, walk both hands to your left foot. Turn both feet toes towards that short end of the mat. Step into a downward dog. And then in your own time, as you inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, slowly with control. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into our last downward dog. And you can shake the head a bit. Couple of breaths in this last downward dog. And then from your downward dog, bring your both knees onto the mat. Walk your knees to your left hand side so you can sit down onto your right hip. And then come lie down on the right side. And as you inhale, open your chest up towards the ceiling into a reclining twist. So we keep our knees, our legs on the right hand side. Open the left shoulder away from the legs. You could turn head to one side or the other. And here, let your breath calm down. Maybe send a couple of slower breaths down and up along your spine. We are slowly going to calm down, slow down towards a relaxation, but we have a couple of poses here on our way into Shavasana pose. Take one more breath in your twist. And then slowly with your next breath or two, slide onto your back, releasing that twist. You can swing the legs a bit from side to side. And then we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest, towards the belly. And from here, lower your both legs to your left side. And then open your chest, open your right arm, right shoulder. Of course, see how your shoulder feels. If you feel that you need to bring the arm lower down, You could bring your right hand onto your belly. What feels good for your back, your shoulders, your hips right now? Head can turn to one side or the other if that releases the neck more. And take a couple more breaths in and out. With those exhalations, let yourself become heavier. Let yourself let go of holding the pose. We've done quite a lot of balancing today. Now it's time to release that tension. Then from your twist, with the next couple of breaths, slowly slide onto your back. Bring your legs, your feet once more, roughly hip width apart. We're going to go into one more bridge. Arms could be next to your sides. And as you exhale, lift your pelvis, lift your back off the mat. And this time you could walk shoulder blades closer together if you want. You can interlock fingers, bring hands together under the pelvis. And then gently open through the front. You might get a gentle stretch in the neck as well. If that feels good, let yourself enjoy that. Take one more breath in and out. And then as you exhale, slowly release down. Bring your back, bring your pelvis down. You can swing the legs from side to side. And you can choose to find Shavasana pose from here. Or if you want, you can one more time hug the knees in. Maybe curl in, so you bring your head towards the knees. And then slowly, with your next few breaths, start to find your Shavasana pose. You can choose to lie down on your back. You can also choose to lie down on your belly if that feels better. And just like in the beginning, you could bring one hand onto the belly, other hand closer to the bottom of the ribs. You can close your eyes. And then just notice your breath. Feel your breath down in your hands. With each out breath, let yourself soften. Let go. Release tension that you don't need in this moment. If you notice that you're holding tension in your neck, you might gently rock your head from side to side. You might open and close the mouth to soften the jaw. And then just let yourself rest. I'll let you enjoy some relaxing music for a while. And then we'll come back together to close the practice. Take a slightly deeper breath in and let a long breath out. And take another deeper breath in. And as you breathe out, start to slowly bring some gentle movement back to your fingers, your toes. You move your hands, move your feet. You can circle your wrist joints, ankle joints. If you want, you could gently stretch your arms overhead, lengthen your whole body long from hands down to the feet. If you had your eyes closed, you could open your eyes. And then slowly, from your back, roll down onto one side. It could be the left or the right side. Which one feels easier to you now? And then from your side, bring yourself up into a seat, into your own final seat. And that could be any easy pose where you feel you could leave your hips, your shoulders, your back soft. Give yourself a few more breaths to close the practice. If it's a part of your practice, you could bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for taking the time to look after yourself, for bringing yourself onto your mat and into your practice today. I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing the practice. Namaste. Thank you.